Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, just depending on where you are located. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us for a live tour of the NovoEd Collaborative Learning Platform. We really appreciate you joining us here today. Before we go ahead and begin, I would like to just take a moment to give you a brief overview of GoToWebinar in case you're unfamiliar with the system. Please note that you are all on mute. You can use your control panel as shown here on the right-hand side of the slide to submit any questions at any time during this tour. We'll respond to questions as they come in, and we'll also be stopping for Q&A at the very end. So we encourage any and all questions. We do want to make this as interactive as possible, so if anything comes up, please go ahead and let us know. At the end of this webinar, an exit survey will pop up. If you could take a few moments to fill out that survey and provide us with some helpful feedback so that we can continue to improve our webinar program, that'd be greatly appreciated. Lastly, I would like to mention that we are recording this webinar and we will send it out via email tomorrow morning. So if there's anything missed or maybe you want to share this with a colleague, please go ahead and look out for that email from us tomorrow morning. I would like to just take a moment to introduce both myself and my colleague, Amanda. My name is Jessica, and I am the marketing manager here at NovoEd, and I am joined by our solutions consultant, Amanda D. Federici. Recently joining the team as a solutions consultant, Amanda brings 15 years of experience in learning and education to NovoEd as an e-learning product designer, instructional designer, library director, and music teacher. She is passionate about learning science and user experience and holds a master's of library and information science and bachelor's of science in music education from the University of South Carolina.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to meet you.
For today's agenda, we will begin with an overview of NovoEd and our platform features before diving into a demo of our collaborative learning platform. At the very end, we will go ahead and pause and answer any questions that may have come in. NovoEd's collaborative learning platform empowers organizations to design and deliver experiential learning that accelerates business performance on a global scale. Since the company's founding at Stanford's Social Algorithms Laboratory in 2012, global corporations, executive education providers, training firms have relied on NovoEd to develop high-value capabilities through purposeful practice and application, coaching and mentorship, and group collaboration. NovoEd's proven approach to learning connects diverse groups of learners, mentors, and leaders in a high-impact online environment, which unlocks your organization's collective knowledge and drives measurable outcomes. In 2018, we were acquired as Fidelity as part of their EdTech strategy. Some of the customers that we work with, as you can see on the slide, include Chevron, Kraft Heinz, IDEO, as well as Stanford. Before we dive any deeper, I'm just going to pause right here to launch a quick poll. We'd love to hear from you all. You'll see a poll pop up on your screen asking you what types of strategic training initiatives is your organization planning on moving online or expanding online. You can go ahead and select one or more of the following, and if you happen to select other, please use the chat box to let us know what we may have missed. I'll give you all a couple of seconds here to answer before I close the poll and share everyone's responses. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated so far. I'll leave it open for about 10 more seconds, so if you have not yet answered, please give us your feedback. Wonderful. I'll go ahead and close the poll and share the results with you all. So it looks like we have two very clear winners. When I've asked this question in the past, typically it's been a mixed bag and everything is pretty equal, but it looks like innovation change training is leading at the moment, followed by leadership. That's very in line with what we have heard, as well as sales enablement and onboarding. And we'll talk through these use cases and kind of show you how our platform is able to support these initiatives. If you happen to mark other, please let us know what we may have missed in this poll. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this. So our platform is optimized for collaborative learning, which is a practice essential for facilitating behavior change. We have found that learning together results in greater impact and productivity, fosters more diverse and supportive professional relationships, and creates a sense of belonging. Most importantly, collaboration actively engages learners, promoting accountability, strengthening and sustaining learning, as well as fostering a very dynamic learning culture. NovoEd enables peer learning and feedback between colleagues, mentors, and managers, and around relevant content, creating context and communities. These modern learning experiences are proven to be more effective in fueling organizational transformation at scale. Through our collaborative capabilities, as well as practice and application, we help you provide powerful, engaging learning experiences that address your most prevalent organizational challenges and facilitate positive behavior change. Some use cases for our platform include digital transformation, leadership development, functional upskilling, diversity and inclusion, as well as employee onboarding. While it's not listed here on the side, we do also partner with organizations for sales enablement and innovation and design thinking as well. You may be familiar with this tech stack, which was previously produced by Josh Burson, and we realize that there is a lot of learning technology solutions out there. So we just want to kind of give you a sense of where we fit into the ecosystem. NovoEd is focused squarely on delivering high-impact learning experiences that really bring people together to collaborate on learning. We can integrate with other parts of your ecosystem so that NovoEd learning experiences can be accessed through your LMS or LXP. You are able to bring in existing content as well as various learning objects that you've built internally or have access to through content subscriptions, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the product tour. With that all said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Amanda, who's going to share her screen with you and walk you through a live demo.
All right, thank you, Jessica. So, all right. Should all be seeing the NovoEd platform now. And what I'm going to do today is walk you through the platform from a couple of different perspectives. We'll start with the learner experience, what it's like for a person who's been enrolled in a NovoEd learning journey or course to not only be exposed to the content that is necessary to teach them a new skill, but also have the opportunity to connect with other people. We do this in a lot of different ways, connecting with your peers through not just discussion posts, but opportunities to work in a team or participate in a group or give your peers feedback. We also connect learners to a mentor or a coach who can support them and give them feedback as well from their expert opinion as they're going through this learning journey. And lastly, we want to give our learners a chance to practice what they've learned in context. So going beyond just quizzing their understanding of topics, but can they actually apply in a real world context what they've learned and demonstrate that to us? So we'll look at that all from the learner side. We'll also take a look at the mentor dashboard where they have a very streamlined experience to be able to support learners and give feedback without a huge time commitment. And we'll also take a look at the analytics today, because everything that we're doing on the platform today is from the learner and the mentor side is tracked so that you can have real insight into what's happening and how you can improve your programs for the future. So today I'm logged in as Leah Tan, and let's imagine that Leah is a new manager. She's been recently promoted and has been enrolled in this learning journey on leadership. Everything you see here that she needs to be successful in this journey is located here on the home page, whether that's the content she's going to be accessing, as well as all of understanding where she is in terms of her progress and any notifications or information that she might need. Now, everything you see here is 100% mobile responsive. So this will shrink down and look great on a tablet, but we also have mobile apps for both iOS and Android devices. And with those apps, you get a couple additional benefits of being able to download content and access it offline, but also you get push notifications, those little red circles that you see on your apps on your phone, and you see them here under Leah's profile in the top left as well. Those are important when we think about adult learners who have very busy lives, are often now intermingling home life and work life and trying to learn and grow as a professional. We need some of those tools to help engage and motivate learners. So we think of this as some of the extrinsic motivators that we have working for us in the platform. Notifications, reminders, and emails will go to those mobile devices. They'll also go to your learners' email addresses in addition to living here in the platform. And a lot of these things will spark people's curiosity. Like if they get a notification that, oh, someone's commenting on my post, or a peer gave me feedback, or my mentor gave me feedback, and make them, motivate them to come back into the learning environment and see what those people are saying. We also have some nice functionality with our messages to help you scale a program from the admin side. These messages can be scheduled in advance, but you can also set up triggering events, like let's say an assignment that's due on Friday. You want to send an email to learners who haven't completed it on Wednesday. Rather than having to dig through the records and figure out who has and hasn't finished the assignment, you just check a couple boxes to filter that assignment, and then our system will automatically find those learners and send them your message. And all of that can be scheduled in advance to make it easy for you to facilitate these online experiences. Another extrinsic motivator we use in the platform is, you'll see here in our progress area. When it comes to defining what does it mean to complete a journey in the NovoEd platform, you have a lot of options to work with here. You can utilize a point system like we have here, where Leah has to earn 110 points and she's earned 10 so far. We're tracking that for her. You could also use to-do items so that learners have to complete some very important things in addition to earning points, or on just using to-dos. And we track all of that here, so it's completely transparent to your learner what they need to be doing. If extrinsic motivation and gamification is really useful in your organization's culture, we also have a leaderboard which you can enable that will display however many of your learners you want. And this updates in real time as learners are going through the course and earning points. Now, extrinsic motivators are good, but where we really find increases in engagement and more behavior change is when we utilize intrinsic motivators, which in an online learning environment can be really summed up as connections to other people. So we do connect learners throughout the course as they get into the content with their peers, but we also connect Leah to her mentor here on the home screen. In the bottom center, you'll see a See My Mentor button. This is where Leah can access and message her mentor, whose name is Mark. And Mark might be her manager. He might be a coach from inside your organization. He might be an alumni of a program who's coming back to support new learners as they're going through. Think of a mentor as broadly as you want. The terminology of this can be configurable. If you want to call it a coach or a buddy, that's fine. And you can also stack multiple mentors with a learner. So one of our clients we're working with right now has an onboarding program where they have learners going through a learning journey, but their manager is a mentor for them. They also have a coach and they have a buddy, and they have someone from their HR department who's assigned as a mentor as well. So there's lots of flexibility in how you set that up and how you utilize that functionality. But we're going to see Mark throughout the course. He's going to be giving Leah feedback. He's going to be monitoring her progress. He's also going to be participating in discussions and being a support. So let's dive into some of the content of the course. I'm going to minimize a few things here. So what you'll see here is I have this course organized into a couple of different modules. You might think of these, if you're doing a cohort program, as maybe this is week 1, this is going to be week 2. You can release these modules on a schedule if you want to keep learners moving together as a cohort. So they'll release at a specific date and time. You can allow learners to just see all of them when they log in, and you can also use prerequisites if, say, a learner has to complete the quiz on the first page before they move on to the second page. So when we think about building content for a course, today you might have content that you're using. Maybe it is face-to-face content, slide decks and documents. Maybe you have some e-learning objects that you've maybe live in your LMS today, or maybe you're licensing content from a place like LinkedIn Learning. We make it possible for you to bring all of that in to NovoEd, regardless of where it lives, through either uploading it, or you can embed it from the web, or you can use SCORM or LTI, and we'll display that object here as part of a streamlined lesson and learning experience. This is by design. We know from our roots and social algorithms that people are more likely to engage with content for longer if they have a streamlined scrolling experience. So from the learner's perspective, they are not necessarily going to know that this video might have come from YouTube, or that SCORM file is actually living in the LMS, or there's something from LinkedIn Learning. To them, it's just one unified experience. And with the content, you'll notice here, maybe I want to start off my learners with an introduction and I want them to watch a video. This video can be embedded from somewhere, or it can be uploaded to the platform. And when you upload, you get a couple additional benefits. We are tracking the analytics very closely, so you can see exactly how learners are, what percentage of the video they're watching. But you can also embed quizzes and surveys. As you see here, my video keeps pausing on this question that I've inserted to make learners engage with this video more than just passively watching it. And after they've watched a video, or maybe done a reading, read an article you posted, we want them to reflect on what they've learned. So we ask them a question, and they're going to respond in a discussion post here. So learners can add their own thoughts, like Leah is about to do here. And when she does that, she's going to earn some points for participating in the discussion. But you can see that learners are also able to respond to each other or like each other's posts. So if Leah does this, you can also do direct mentions, and all of this is creating notifications activity that is going to make people curious. Janice is going to see that I'm commenting on her post, and she's going to want to come check that out. It also allows us to have learners to have discussions with each other across different time zones, or different, maybe different work schedules even. Janice could have posted this on Monday. I'm coming in on a Thursday and commenting on it, and we're having a conversation, but we don't have to be at the same place and same time to do it. Now, after that, you might flow into you might want them to read a document, or maybe do an e-learning module. Again, we make it super easy to bring those things into the platform. I mean, adding all of this content and building out courses in NovoEd is extremely easy. It's a drag and drop experience. You don't need to know how to code at all. You just choose the object that you want, and there'll be a template that you fill out, and that's really it. And maybe after that, you want your learners to take a quick quiz or a survey, so where you can kind of check their understanding of the basics. You can be as nuanced or simple with the feedback as you want. This is totally up to you. And sometimes this feedback is really helpful in a self-paced environment, where you do want learners to get some immediate feedback from the system if they're not going to be talking as much with other learners. But I will say, though, that while some of our customers do self-paced, many are using a blended format, where learners are doing things like reading content and interacting with content, like we've seen on this page, sort of as pre-work that leads up to a live meeting. We do support live meetings within these NovoEd learning experiences. So the way this works is that you will create a live meeting in whatever web technology you're using today. GoToMeeting, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Zoom. And that meeting will be, you can embed that meeting here for learners to participate in it. But it also gives you an opportunity to add any additional materials that the learners might need before or after that live session. You can also post the recording so that learners can come back and watch it again if they need to, or if they miss the meeting, they can still catch it here. And they can also participate in discussion after the fact. Maybe if you weren't able to attend, but you still have thoughts you want to share, you can do that through a discussion post here. So the idea here is, again, let's streamline it. Let's reduce the distractions that a learner might have if they have to go 10 different places for 10 different things. They don't have to go to their calendar or email to find this live session. It'll be here waiting for them. And it really makes it simple and reduces the friction that learners have sometimes when they have to switch between multiple places in one application or switching between multiple different applications. Now, this does support any web technology used today. We have a special integration with Zoom that has a couple extra bells and whistles. You can create the Zoom event from within NovoEd. It'll track attendance and it will automatically post the recording afterwards for you. But if you don't use Zoom, that's perfectly fine. It'll work with any web virtual meeting technology. Now, maybe after this live session where we've come together to do some synchronous learning at this, all at the same time, same place, now we want learners to go back and apply what they've learned. So we're going to do that through this individual challenge. Here, I'm asking Leah to, because she is a new manager, I want her to do a role play and record a 30-second video of herself practicing running a team meeting. So if I scroll down here, she's going to answer a few questions and she'll upload her video. Now she can do this from her laptop by recording a video, uploading it. This works great on the mobile app. And in the very near future, we'll have the ability for you to record a video directly from the web platform right here. So that'll be perfectly seamless for users. But this doesn't have to be a video. This might be, I want my learners to create a project plan and upload that document, or I want them to take a picture of something and that means something to them and upload it, or I want them to do an analysis and upload a spreadsheet. Whatever object that is going to demonstrate that they can apply what they've learned will be fine. And then we have a couple of ways of giving Leah feedback. At the top here, you see it says approval needed. That means that her mentor, Mark, is going to take a look at this assignment and ultimately approve it so that she can earn her points, or he might send it back to her for revision and to try again. So when she submits it, it'll be waiting for him in his dashboard. We can also do peer feedback. If I scroll down here, you'll see that after Leah finishes her assignment, we want her to look at, say, 3 or 4 of her peers, and that will be waiting for her here as well. So I want to take a quick second and actually switch gears and show you what this looks like from the mobile interface. So I'm pulling up my cell phone now, and when I open the NovoEd app, I'm logged in as Leah still. It remembers where I left off. I was on that individual challenge, but also just notice that you remember the progress area from the home screen and the different pages of content that we had. So it's a very identical experience, especially even this page here. So if people are switching from the web version to the mobile app, that's perfectly fine. They're absolutely able to do that. So I'm going to do my submission now, and I'm just going to skip over these little questions here that I'm supposed to answer, but I will take a video. And so I'm just going to use my phone's camera to do that. So record a quick video here, and I'm going to upload that to the platform. Change the title if I want to. And this assignment has been set to be shared with the learning journey because we are doing peer feedback. But you can make assignments that are private, that are just between the mentor and the learner, or the learner and the facilitator if you want. So let me submit that, and now it's off to Mark. It'll be in his dashboard. Now I can even do the peer feedback from my phone here. So let's take a look at Rebecca. And as a learner, I'm going to be evaluating Rebecca on how she's doing. So I can read her responses, I can watch her video, and then I can give her feedback below. But notice that I'm not just giving her feedback in a vacuum. I'm actually able to see what Darren is saying. And Mark, our mentor, has actually chimed in with some public feedback. So it's a great opportunity to learn not just from what Rebecca is doing, but also from how others are evaluating her. You could think about this as like if you were in-person training, doing a live role play and then having everyone have a discussion afterwards. That's that same kind of dynamic, but you're able to do it here asynchronously, when it's convenient for each of these learners. Now this idea of peer feedback and looking at other submissions, this can be a part of any assignment, but we also have a submission gallery where at any time you can go and browse other learners' submissions for any assignment that's been made public. So it's a great way to learn from people who might be kind of your rock stars, your peers, and you want to go see what they're doing and see what other people are saying about their work. Now, this isn't the only way that we connect learners to each other. Peer feedback is very powerful, but many of our clients also use the idea of assignments and challenges and projects with a team. So here you'll see Leah has been assigned to a 5-person team. Now, we could let these people make their own teams, or you can assign them, that's fine. And they're going to work on a project together to create a charter, and that will be uploaded as a slide deck of some sort. To make this work though in an environment where we're all working asynchronously and we're separated by geographies, we provide them a team workspace in the platform. So what this allows them to do is kind of break out from the larger cohort, have a private space to work on their project and discuss and ask questions. You can see they're sharing resources. And if they want to come together at the same place and time, we have a scheduling tool here where they can, add a Zoom link and all come together, but they don't have to. This can all be done asynchronously. So it gives you the opportunity to connect people from, who never get exposed to each other because they work on, opposite ends of the planet. You can actually bring them together in a group and have them work together in this team. Now, this is a private space. You can have a mentor who is assigned to this team who's going to be watching over them and helping facilitate inside of this group and monitoring their progress, or you can leave it completely private. But I think what makes this powerful is that when people are in a small group like this, there's really nowhere to hide. So you have to step up and you begin to feel accountable to this team. And that's where we see engagement go up because they start to trust each other. This is like your table at the workshop, where you're getting to know people really well. And when you combine that with a team space, and then you let learners give each other a lot of feedback, and maybe you have mentors or coaches who are giving feedback as well, you start to be able to scale a high touch program where, maybe if you had just a facilitator trying to give learners all of this individual attention, it would be incredibly difficult. But when you distribute some of that workload, your facilitators and instructors can now, you can manage larger groups of people. I actually facilitate a course at NovoEd called our Foundations of Learning Experience Design, and we recently had 1,500 learners in it, which is a lot, more than we, maybe our clients are doing several hundred in one course, but it works because everyone still gets that high touch, high value, impactful experience. And we had coaches, we had teams, we had lots of peer feedback. So everyone still felt like they got a lot of attention. So I'm going to shift gears now. I do want to show you what it's like from Mark's point of view on the mentor side. Now we know with mentors, a challenge can be time commitment. People are concerned that this is going to eat up a lot of their time and they don't know how they're going to do it. So we have streamlined this process. So let's say Mark maybe only has 15 minutes to spend. Anything really important that needs his attention will be waiting here for him on his dashboard. He doesn't even have to go into the course to give Sandy a feedback on her assignment. But if he does go into the course, he will see in the bottom center, a See My Mentees, and this takes him to his mentor dashboard, where from the first tab, you can see at a glance, how are your mentees doing in terms of progress, points earned, or to-do items completed. And if someone's really fallen off the bandwagon, it's just a click to send them a message and check in to see how they're doing. Anything that does need your comments or your approval will be waiting here for you. So we can go and evaluate Leah since she submitted her assignment, and you can see there's my video. So Mark would watch that and he might say, nice job, I like how you did this, and approve it, and then Leah will earn points. Or you might say, nice job, but I want you to try again and focus on X, Y, and Z. He can send it back to her for revision. She'll get a notification that it's come back to her, and all that interaction between them is handled by the system. You don't have to worry about how do you get these people to talk together. as we saw before, if he checks this, this feedback is going to be private between the two of them, but you can check a box to make it public if you want to really praise Leah and give her, really encourage her by letting everyone else see what you thought about her submission. Now, this is comment-based, but we do also support formal evaluations if you wanted to do something with a rubric, which I can show you quickly with Jerry here. So rubrics are fully customizable from the criteria and the rating scale. This can be as detailed as you want it to be. And if you don't like sliders, you can choose, we got several other mechanisms to choose from. So you're able to give them a score, and then you're also able to still give them feedback. It's just a bit more structured with this grid. But that is essentially, you know, we want to keep this streamlined for the mentors because we don't want them to get bogged down with too much to do. We give them some basic analytics here, but the real powerful analytics come in the admin role. So I'm going to switch gears really quickly and show you what that's like from Denise's perspective. So Denise is an admin or a facilitator for this course. And in her admin dashboard, she's got a lot of power to do things like edit the course or manage the users, manage teams and groups, communications and everything. I wanted to show you this quickly because I did want to point out that many of our clients have multiple admins or facilitators running courses, and you can totally mix and match the different permissions so that you can customize roles. So you might have some people that only need access to the analytics. That's fine. Or they only need access to building course content, but they're also going to be a mentor. That's fine as well. It's completely flexible to mix and match. But let's take a look at the analytics today, because I think analytics are, we're obviously interested in how are our learners engaging, but we also want to know how is our course performing? And I mean, like, what is effective and what is working and what's not, so that we can adjust that. You know, when you're doing face-to-face training, you might have to rely on your gut for some of this, that like, looking back, I think that activity on Thursday really didn't hit right. We want to make some changes to that. Here, you're going to get real data that will tell you what is effective and what's not. So this comes in two levels. At a high level, you get these visualizations of how are learners engaging with different components in the course, like specific assignments or discussion posts. Here I see, okay, something that happened in week 2 was really great. I would love to know how I can go back and recreate that and keep that engagement high in the rest of the course. You can drill down into any of these objects to look at a specific one. So like, let's take a video, for example. If I look at this specific video, I get a histogram that shows me exactly what percentage of the video did my learners watch. And most of them are watching 90 to 100%, which is, I'm happy with. But if I saw a spike down here in the lower percentages, I would want to know that as a course designer, so I could maybe shorten that video. Maybe it's too long and people are just giving up, or you know, maybe there's a technical issue with it that I need to fix. I get this in real time, so you'll know if there is an issue or not. So this is great, you know, from a high level, but where the data really gets interesting is in our custom data downloads. So I'm going to go there now. Now these reports are going to come to you as a CSV file, and this will enable you to get your hands on any of the data that we're capturing in the system, which is a lot. So you are not limited to just reporting on your learners. You can also run reports on your mentors if you want to see how engaged and effective they are. You can run reports on the teams to see which teams are performing better than others and why. Let's look at that. You can filter by any profile questions you've asked your learners when they set up their account, which is completely customizable. And then you decide what you want to see in the report. I might want to include that profile information, like what's their location, their job title, how many years of experience do they have, because I want to do some comparisons of different groups. Progress, it goes way beyond just completion. This could be the percentage of pages that they've looked at or the points that they earned. You can also see how active were they in discussions and what did they contribute to their team. So you'll know if people were a good team player or not, because we're tracking their interactions. And then seeing data from their activities. Let's say I have a specific assignment I want to know more about. If I select that assignment, I get all this additional information, like how many comments did they receive? How many points did they earn? When was it submitted? And you get the similar level of detail for everything else, including the peer feedback. You can see, what did they say to their peers? What did they do on their quizzes? What did they say in discussions? How many seconds of video did they watch? And on and on. So it's just a lot of information, very powerful information. Now this can obviously, be a CSV file. A lot of our customers take this and put it into, a business intelligence tool or like Tableau to do some more analysis. We also have some APIs that will port this information into systems, other systems. So if you wanted to do some deeper analysis, that's fine as well. So we have a couple minutes left. I do want to show you very quickly a little bit of the content editing, because it's a question we get often is, I've got some content, but how do I get it into your platform, and how easy is it to build a course? So let me show you very quickly a few things. Since I'm an admin, I can edit content. And editing a lesson page, there's a lot of objects already here. Like I mentioned before, we do support SCORM and LTI. So if you want to embed something from LinkedIn Learning, or if you have here's a SCORM file that came from Microsoft, where you can see this is an interactive object. I can take a quiz inside of it and interact with it, but it's streamlined here so that I could have a discussion above it, or I could have a quiz below it, and it becomes part of a larger learning journey. But when it comes to editing, or adding content, you'll simply just click an add button here, and you get all these options where if you're going to add content, maybe that's uploading videos or uploading documents, files, PowerPoints, etc. You can also get content in by just embedding it from the web directly, or doing those SCORM files like I said before. And here's where you would create that live video event. Then think about some of the options for getting learners to apply what they've learned through a challenge or an assignment, or taking a quiz. We also have a survey tool. And then you've got the social activities like discussions, or setting up the peer feedback, whether it's public or private. And building these items is so easy. I'll show you a challenge, for example. Decide if you want it to be individual or team. And then you are going to give it a title, and then decide what type of object. Maybe I want them to, I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. So I'm going to have them do some typing first, and I would put the instructions here. And then maybe I also want them to upload a video. So I would select that object and give them instructions here for that. And when I save that, the system's going to generate it for me. So that's all you have to know how to do, is just what do you want it to say. And you can add some additional expectations at the top. This also applies to any visual elements you want to do in the course. So say you've got, you want to add, pictures or like a block quote call out. You don't have to know Photoshop to make this work. Personally, Photoshop makes me want to cry. So I was relieved when I saw how easy this is. Just select the type of visual you want, whether that's a header or maybe like a call out. And you're just going to upload a background image to that. I've got one I'll just use right here. And then you type your text over it. What do you want it to say? Maybe it's just something like inspirational, like, what have you learned? You want them to reflect a bit. So that was super easy, but I can also make some more changes by editing the style of this, where I can play with the font. I can change my colors. There's a template that's a palette that's already here for me based on things I've used before, or I can use my hex codes. I can move things around. It's just super simple, and everything is really like this. So it's very easy to get up to speed with a course. Now, if this still feels like a lot to you, we do have a professional services team that is available to help you build your courses, or if you just want someone to give you guidance, and if you want to build it and then you want them to look over your shoulder and review it before you launch, that's perfectly fine too. They can do anywhere on either side of that spectrum. So I know we've got a few minutes left. I want to just pause for questions now. I think I've seen some things rolling in. So I'm happy to take a look at what you're curious about.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And yes, we have had some great questions. Everyone, thank you for your participation. And yes, if you have any other remaining questions, please let us know. So Amanda, the first question that I am seeing is around languages. Can you talk about how many languages NovoEd is able to support and what those are?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, and I can show you that really quickly right here. So we support a number of languages, and let's see, we've got Latin American Spanish, we've got French, 2 versions of Portuguese, Japanese, Mandarin, Korean, Russian, German. We recently added support for Arabic languages, and we're always open to adding more languages as well as they're requested. I think we're working on Italian right now in our roadmap. And this does when you change the language, it's going to change all of the navigational elements of the course, but it does not translate your content. I just wanted to be upfront about that. There's really no systems out there that'll just be able to automatically do that. So for our customers who are running multiple language programs, we recommend that you can, there's no limit to the number of courses you can have. So you can have your Spanish version with your content, and then you could have, other languages as you need.
Great, thanks, Amanda. The other question I'm seeing here are about groups and teams. Can you kind of explain what the difference between a group and a team is?
Absolutely. So teams, at which we took a look at, right, are designed for the purpose of having 4 or 5 people work on a project together or an assignment together. But we also have groups in the platform, and groups are similar. The spaces look similar, but the intent of these is to give people a place to network and meet other people from your organization around common areas of interest or maybe common job functions. It's a place to pick each other's brains, and that's you're able to learn from your peers alongside the course.
Great, thank you. And for groups, how are those assigned? Are people able to join themselves, or are they assigned by facilitators?
Yep, so either option. You can allow learners to create their own groups and then join them as they wish, or you can create the groups and say, go choose some groups you want to be a part of. You could also just create the groups and then assign people to them. It's totally flexible.
Great. The next question I see here is about videos. So earlier in the webinar, you mentioned that it's possible to embed videos into the learning experience. Is this done through iframes or through a different method?
It is. So you can upload a video, which will be actually just uploaded and displayed, and then videos that are embedded, they are embedded through an iframe, but you don't have to create that iframe. All you have to do is provide the web link, and our platform will take care of the rest.
Great. Thank you so much, Amanda. And I do see one other question here. How does this platform integrate with other learning technology that I may have today?
Oh, great question. Yeah, so like Jessica was mentioning earlier, we do I think you've seen here that we're not an LMS. We're not a learning experience platform. Both of those are really great at doing things like registering learners or helping learners find training. But we are more like, maybe a person would register for an in-person training on your LMS, and then they go into the classroom. We are the classroom. So we will integrate with your LMS so that you can register your learners there, and they will port over into NovoEd. If you add single sign-on, it's completely seamless, which we do support. And then when your learner has finished their NovoEd learning journey, we will send completion data back to your LMS, which is the place where you're tracking other things like your compliance training.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. I don't see any other questions that are coming in. So I'm going to quickly show my screen and just kind of wrap up here. I would like to thank you everyone for joining us today. And I really appreciate all the questions that have come in. They were just very insightful, and it really makes this very engaging, which is really our goal of this webinar. If you would like to learn more, whether you want a personalized demo, pricing, please just type yes into the questions panel, and we'll go ahead and follow up with you after this webinar. I do want to mention a couple of things before we let you go. We are offering a free Foundations of Learning Experience Design course, which Amanda mentioned earlier, and she is going to be facilitating this course. It's a free 5-week course, and if you would like to join, or if you would like to learn more, you can use your phone's camera to scan the QR code here to go view that landing page. Again, thank you everyone for your time. If you could please provide us with feedback in the exit survey, we would really greatly appreciate that, as our goal is to really always improve our webinar program. And again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.